They walk into a room and everything changes. The air shifts. Conversations pause. Eyes turn. Attention flows toward them like water toward a drain. You notice them before you understand why. You feel drawn before you give permission. You are captivated before you realize what is happening. This is charisma, the invisible force that some people wield like a weapon. The supernatural ability to command attention without demanding it. The dark gift that can build empires or destroy lives. You have met these people. You have felt their pull. You have wondered how they do it. How they make everyone feel special. How they make everyone want to please them. How they make everyone forget their own interests and focus entirely on them. It seems like magic. It seems like a gift from the gods. It seems like something you either have or do not have. But what if I told you it is none of those things? What if I told you charisma is a skill, a craft, a weapon that can be forged and sharpened? And what if I told you that many charismatic people know exactly what they are doing? Every smile calculated, every gesture rehearsed, every word chosen for maximum impact. They are not naturally gifted. They are strategically dangerous. Welcome to Psyvenix. Today we expose what charismatic people do not want you to know. The dark secrets behind the charm. The manipulation hidden in the magnetism. The predator lurking behind the smile. This is not about hating charismatic people. Some use their gifts for good. Some genuinely want to connect and inspire. But others use charisma as a weapon, a tool for control, a means of getting what they want while you think it was your idea all along. You need to know the difference. You need to see through the spell. You need to understand the mechanics of what they are doing to you. Because once you understand, you become immune. Once you see the strings, you cannot be puppet. Once you know the tricks, the magic loses its power. The ancient Stoics warned about being swayed by appearances. Epictetus taught that we are disturbed not by things, but by our judgments about things. When you see a charismatic person, your judgment says they are special. They are trustworthy. They are worth following. But that judgment might be manufactured, implanted, designed. By the end of this video, you will see charisma differently. You will recognize the tactics. You will spot the manipulation. You will understand the psychology behind the most seductive force in human interaction. Subscribe to Psyvenix right now. Turn on notifications. Because what comes next will change every social interaction you have for the rest of your life. The spell is about to break. What makes someone charismatic? Why do certain people command attention while others fade into the background? The answer lies deep in human psychology, and it is darker than you might expect. Charisma is not one thing. It is a combination of traits that trigger specific responses in the human brain. Responses that evolved over millions of years. Responses that can be deliberately activated by those who understand them. The first component is presence. Charismatic people are fully present when they interact with you. They give you their complete attention. Their eyes do not wander. Their mind does not drift. For that moment, you are the only person in their universe. This triggers something primal in your brain. In our evolutionary past, attention meant survival. If the leader of the tribe paid attention to you, it meant you mattered. You were safe. You had value. When a charismatic person gives you full attention, your ancient brain interprets this as safety and belonging. You feel good around them without understanding why. The second component is power. Charismatic people project an aura of capability. They move with confidence. They speak with certainty. They act as if they have everything under control. Your brain is wired to follow powerful people. In our ancestral environment, being close to the powerful increased your chances of survival. You would get better food, better protection, better access to resources. When you sense power in someone, your brain wants to align with them. Follow them. Please them. This happens automatically, below your conscious awareness. The third component is warmth. Charismatic people make you feel liked. They smile genuinely. They touch appropriately. They use your name. They remember details about you. They make you feel seen and valued. Warmth triggers the release of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, the chemical that makes you trust, that makes you attach, that makes you lower your defenses. When warmth is combined with power and presence, something magical happens. Your brain decides this person is both capable and caring, both strong and safe, both worthy of following and likely to look after you. This is the neurological formula for charisma. Presence plus power plus warmth equals captivation. And here is the dark truth. Every element of this formula can be faked. Presence can be performed. Power can be projected without substance. Warmth can be manufactured for manipulation. The charismatic person who makes you feel special might feel nothing at all. The leader who seems to care might be calculating. The charmer who draws you in might have an agenda you cannot see. Seneca wrote that it is not the man who has too little who is poor, but the one who hankers after more. Charismatic manipulators always hanker after more. More attention, more followers, more control, and they use the psychology of charisma to get it. Now we enter dangerous territory. The specific tactics that dark charismatic people use to control you. These are not theories. These are observed patterns, documented strategies, weapons in the arsenal of social manipulation. The first tactic is mirroring. Charismatic manipulators become mirrors of whoever they are speaking to. They subtly copy your body language, your speech patterns, your energy level, your values and opinions. When you are mirrored, you feel understood. You feel a connection that seems almost supernatural. You feel like you have found someone who truly gets you. But you have not found anything. They have constructed something, a false reflection designed to make you trust them. They are not showing you who they are. They are showing you yourself. And you fall in love with the reflection. The second tactic is strategic vulnerability. Dark charismatic people share carefully selected weaknesses. They confess a flaw, reveal a struggle, admit a fear. This makes them seem human, relatable, trustworthy. You think if they can be vulnerable with me, then they must trust me. If they trust me, then I can trust them. But the vulnerability is calculated, chosen specifically to create a bond. They revealed nothing real. They revealed what would make you open up. And once you open up, they have leverage. The third tactic is intermittent reinforcement. This is perhaps the most powerful manipulation technique in existence. Charismatic manipulators give you attention inconsistently. Sometimes they make you feel like the most important person in the world. Sometimes they seem cold and distant. Sometimes they shower you with praise. Sometimes they seem indifferent to your existence. This inconsistency creates addiction. Your brain becomes obsessed with figuring out how to get the reward back. You work harder to please them. You think about them constantly. You become dependent on their validation. This is the same mechanism that makes gambling addictive. Unpredictable rewards create the strongest attachments. And dark charismatic people know this instinctively. The fourth tactic is manufactured scarcity. They make their attention seem rare and valuable. They are always busy, always in demand, always surrounded by others who want them. When they give you time, it feels like a gift. When they focus on you, it feels like winning the lottery. This scarcity makes you value their attention disproportionately. You feel special when they choose you, even if that choosing is entirely calculated. Even if they do this with dozens of people, you feel like the exception. That is the point. The fifth tactic is reality distortion. The most skilled charismatic manipulators can make you doubt your own perception. They speak with such confidence that you question yourself. They reframe situations so skillfully that you forget what actually happened. They tell you what you feel until you believe it. This is a form of gaslighting, wrapped in charm, delivered with a smile, disguised as care and wisdom. But underneath it is control. Marcus Aurelius wrote that everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact, and everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Dark charismatic people exploit this. They replace your opinions with theirs. They substitute your perspective for theirs, and you thank them for it. The most powerful charismatic people do not just influence your thoughts. They hijack your emotions. They take control of how you feel. And once they control your emotions, they control you. This is emotional hijacking, the dark art of making someone feel whatever you want them to feel, whenever you want them to feel it. The first technique is emotional contagion. Emotions are contagious. When someone near you feels something strongly, you tend to feel it too. Charismatic people use this deliberately. They generate strong emotions in themselves. Excitement, passion, intensity, and they let those emotions infect everyone around them. You walk away feeling energized, inspired, alive, but those feelings did not come from you. They were transferred, implanted. You are now carrying their emotional agenda. The second technique is anchoring. Skilled manipulators associate themselves with positive emotions. Every interaction is designed to make you feel good. Laughter, validation, excitement, pleasure. Over time, your brain creates an automatic association. This person equals good feelings. Seeing them triggers happiness. Being away from them triggers longing. This is classical conditioning. The same technique used to train animals, and it works on humans just as effectively. The third technique is emotional escalation. Dark, charismatic people take you on emotional journeys. They start with small feelings. Then they build, layer by layer, intensity by intensity, until you are experiencing emotions you rarely feel in normal life. This escalation bonds you to them. They become the source of your most powerful experiences. Your regular life seems dull in comparison. You need them to feel alive. This is addiction, emotional addiction, created deliberately by someone who knows exactly what they are doing. The fourth technique is emotional rescue. They create problems, then solve them. They make you feel anxious, then comfort you. They destabilize you, then provide stability. This cycle creates intense bonding. You associate them with relief, with safety, with salvation. You forget that they created the distress in the first place. You only remember that they saved you from it. The fifth technique is emotional isolation. Gradually, they become your primary source of emotional experience. Other relationships seem less intense. Other people seem less interesting. Other connections seem less meaningful. This is not accidental. They are systematically replacing your emotional support network with themselves. When they are your only source of intense emotion, they control you completely. Epictetus taught that no person is free who is not master of themselves. When someone else controls your emotions, you are not free. You are a puppet, and the charismatic manipulator holds all the strings. Here is an uncomfortable truth about many charismatic people. Beneath the charm lies narcissism. Beneath the warmth lies coldness. Beneath the connection lies emptiness. Not all charismatic people are narcissists, but the overlap is significant. And understanding this overlap protects you from the most dangerous charmers. Narcissists need what is called narcissistic supply. Attention, admiration, validation. They need it constantly, desperately, the way an addict needs their drug. Charisma is the perfect tool for obtaining narcissistic supply. It draws people in. It makes people admire. It creates followers who provide constant validation. The charismatic narcissist is not connecting with you. They are feeding from you. Every compliment you give, every impressed look on your face, every moment of attention, it all feeds their insatiable hunger. And you think you are building a relationship. They know they are conducting a transaction. The charismatic narcissist has what psychologists call a false self, a constructed persona designed to be admired. Everything about them is calculated for maximum appeal. Their stories, their achievements, their struggles, all carefully curated to create the image they want you to see. The real person underneath is often empty, insecure, terrified of being seen as ordinary. But you will never meet that person. You will only ever meet the performance. This is why relationships with charismatic narcissists feel confusing. In public, they are perfect. In private, something feels off. Around others, they are magnetic. When you are alone, the energy changes. You cannot put your finger on it, but something does not match. That something is the gap between the false self and the true self. The gap between the performance and the reality. The gap between who they pretend to be and who they actually are. The charismatic narcissist also engages in idealization and devaluation. When they first meet you, they idealize you. You are amazing, special, unlike anyone they have ever met. This feels intoxicating, but it is not about you. It is about their need for an impressive partner, an impressive follower, an impressive source of supply. When you stop being impressive enough, the devaluation begins. Subtle criticisms, comparisons to others, making you feel less than. This is designed to keep you working for their approval, running on the hamster wheel of trying to regain their initial admiration. Seneca observed that we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality. The charismatic narcissist exploits this. They make you imagine you could lose them. They make you imagine you are not good enough. And you suffer from these imaginations while they maintain control. If you are gaining awareness from this video, make sure you subscribe to Psyvenix. We expose what others hide. We protect you from what you cannot see. Turn on notifications so you never miss a revelation. Charismatic manipulators are expert readers of people. They see things others miss. They detect vulnerabilities invisible to the untrained eye. They know what you need before you do. This is not psychic ability. This is dark social intelligence. The refined skill of reading human beings like books, and then using what they read against you. The first thing they read is your insecurities. Every person has tender spots, areas of self-doubt, hidden fears about not being enough. Charismatic manipulators detect these within minutes of meeting you. They notice what you avoid talking about. They observe what makes you uncomfortable. They feel where your confidence wavers. And they file this information away, to be used later, to press when they need leverage, to exploit when it serves their purpose. The second thing they read is your desires. What do you want more than anything? Recognition, love, success, belonging. They figure this out quickly, and then they position themselves as the gateway to getting it. They hint that they can give you what you crave. They imply that following them leads to your deepest desires. They become the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. This gives them enormous power over you. The third thing they read is your emotional patterns. How do you respond to flattery? How do you react to distance? What triggers your anxiety? What calms your fears? They run small experiments. They test different approaches. They observe and adjust until they have a complete map of your emotional landscape. They know which buttons to push, when to push them, and exactly what response each push will create. The fourth thing they read is your social position. Are you isolated or connected? Are you respected or overlooked? Are you secure or insecure in your place? If you are isolated, you are an easier target. They can become your primary connection. If you are insecure, they can offer status through association. They read your social position and exploit it strategically. The fifth thing they read is your history. They extract your story, your past, your wounds, your formative experiences. They ask questions that seem caring. Tell me about your childhood. What was your hardest experience? Who hurt you before? This seems like intimacy. It is actually intelligence gathering. Every piece of your history is ammunition. Every wound is a target. Every formative experience is a manipulation opportunity. Marcus Aurelius wrote that to understand the true quality of people, you must look into their minds and examine their pursuits and aversions. Charismatic manipulators do exactly this. They look into your mind. They examine your pursuits and aversions, and they use what they find to control you. The most dangerous charismatic people create addiction, not to substances, to themselves. They make you dependent on their presence, their approval, their attention, and once you are addicted, they own you. Understanding how this addiction works is essential for breaking free. The addiction starts with the dopamine flood. When you first encounter a charismatic person, your brain releases dopamine, the pleasure chemical, the reward signal, the feeling of something wonderful happening. They are exciting, stimulating, unlike anyone you have met. Your brain tags this experience as highly valuable, something to seek again, something to pursue, something to prioritize. Then comes the tolerance. Like any drug, the initial high cannot be maintained. The same level of interaction produces less dopamine over time. So you need more time with them, more intensity, more of whatever they provide. And they control the supply. They give you just enough to keep you hooked, never enough to feel satisfied, always enough to keep you wanting. Then comes the withdrawal. When they pull away, you feel pain, real physiological pain. Your brain screams for the dopamine it has become accustomed to. You feel anxious, depressed, desperate. You will do almost anything to make the pain stop, to get them back, to restore the supply. This is the trap. The withdrawal makes you compliant. The withdrawal makes you forgive unforgivable behavior. The withdrawal makes you abandon your own interests for theirs. Then comes the intermittent reinforcement we discussed earlier. Random rewards, unpredictable attention, sometimes wonderful, sometimes cold. This unpredictability strengthens the addiction exponentially. Your brain becomes obsessed with figuring out the pattern, with predicting when the next reward will come, with doing whatever might trigger their positive attention. You are now a lab rat pressing a lever, not knowing when the pellet will drop, but unable to stop pressing. Finally comes the identity fusion. At the deepest level of addiction, you lose yourself. Your sense of who you are becomes wrapped up in them. Your worth is measured by their opinion. Your mood depends on their treatment. Your future seems impossible without them. This is the complete capture, the total control, the absolute victory of the charismatic manipulator over your autonomous self. Epictetus taught that it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. When you are addicted, you think you know what is happening. You think this is love, connection, something special. You do not know it is addiction, and what you do not know you cannot escape. Now for the most important part. How do you protect yourself? How do you break free if you're already caught? How do you see through the charisma and reclaim your autonomy? The first defense is awareness. Simply knowing these tactics exist reduces their power. When you recognize mirroring, you are less affected by it. When you spot intermittent reinforcement, you can resist it. When you see emotional hijacking, you can protect yourself. Knowledge is the first layer of armor. This video is giving you that armor. Wear it. The second defense is time. Charismatic manipulators work best with speed. They want to capture you before you can think critically. They want to hook you before you notice the tactics. So slow down. Do not commit to anything quickly. Do not trust intensity that arrives too fast. Real connection builds gradually. Manipulation needs urgency. If someone is rushing you, that itself is a warning sign. The third defense is outside perspective. Charismatic manipulators try to isolate your perception. They want to be your only source of reality. They want you to see things only through their lens. Maintain connections with people outside their influence. Ask others what they see. Listen when friends express concern. The manipulator will try to dismiss these outside voices. That dismissal is itself a red flag. The fourth defense is watching actions, not words. Charismatic people are masters of words. They can make anything sound good. They can explain away any concern. They can reframe any red flag. So stop listening so closely. Start watching what they actually do. Do their actions match their words? Do they keep their promises? Do they respect your boundaries? Actions reveal truth that words can hide. The fifth defense is testing boundaries. Say no to something. Assert a limit. Decline a request. Watch how they respond. A genuine person respects boundaries. A manipulator pressures past them. A genuine person accepts no gracefully. A manipulator punishes you for it. Boundaries are the diagnostic tool that reveals true character. Use them. The sixth defense is reconnecting with yourself. If you have been caught in a charismatic web, you have likely lost touch with yourself. Your desires, your values, your independent sense of reality. Spend time alone. Journal. Meditate. Remember who you were before they entered your life. That person still exists, buried under the manipulation, waiting to be reclaimed. The seventh defense is accepting pain. Breaking free hurts. The withdrawal is real. The loss feels devastating. Many people return to manipulators simply because the pain of leaving is too great. Accept that pain is part of the process. It is not a sign you made the wrong choice. It is a sign the addiction was real. And like any addiction, the pain fades with time. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Following a charismatic manipulator might feel like joining the majority. Everyone loves them. Everyone admires them. Everyone is drawn to them. But majority is not truth. Escape the ranks of the insane. Think for yourself. Trust yourself. Free yourself. We have traveled deep into the darkness of charisma. We have exposed what most people never see. Now for the final truth. The revelation that ties everything together. Charisma itself is neutral. It is a tool, a force, a power. Like fire, it can warm or destroy. Like water, it can nourish or drown. The darkness is not in charisma. The darkness is in how some people choose to use it. There are charismatic people who genuinely care, who use their gifts to inspire and elevate, who create real connection rather than manufacture dependency, who give rather than take, who build rather than exploit. These people exist, and they are often indistinguishable from the manipulators, at least at first. This is the challenge. This is why awareness matters. You cannot assume all charisma is manipulation. You cannot trust all charisma is genuine. You must develop discernment, the ability to see past the surface, the wisdom to judge character over time, the patience to let truth reveal itself. Here is what the Stoics teach about this. Seneca said that true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When charismatic manipulators capture you, they create anxious dependence. Your happiness hangs on their approval. Your present is consumed by their presence. Your future seems bound to them. This is the opposite of Stoic freedom. True connection does not create anxiety. True connection creates peace. True connection allows you to enjoy the present without dependence. If someone makes you anxious and addicted, that is not love. That is control. Marcus Aurelius wrote that very little is needed to make a happy life. The charismatic manipulator makes you believe you need them, that your life is incomplete without them, that happiness is impossible apart from them. This is the lie. You needed very little before they arrived. You will need very little after they are gone. The intensity they created was not life. It was distortion. The calm after they leave is not emptiness. It is peace. Epictetus reminded us that no man is free who is not master of himself. The charismatic manipulator wants to be your master. They want your emotions under their control. They want your decisions shaped by their influence. They want your identity wrapped around their presence. True freedom means mastering yourself, your emotions, your decisions, your identity. No person should have that power over you, no matter how charming they are. Now you know the dark secrets of charismatic people. You have seen behind the curtain. You have understood the mechanics of the spell. You can never be fully fooled again. Use this knowledge wisely. Use it to protect yourself. Use it to protect others who cannot see what you now see. And perhaps, if you have the capacity for charisma yourself, use it for good. Be the charismatic person who builds rather than destroys, who connects rather than captures, who inspires rather than manipulates. The world needs more light. Choose to be that light. If this video opened your eyes, share it with someone who needs to see. Drop a comment about your experiences with charismatic people. Your story might save someone else. Subscribe to Psyvenix and turn on notifications. We go where others fear to go. We expose what others refuse to see. We protect those who seek truth. Next video, we are going even deeper. We will reveal how your own mind betrays you. The psychological traps you fall into every day without knowing. You will not want to miss it. Until then, stay aware. Stay free. Stay master of yourself. This is Psyvenix.